Hello, hello. Um, so if you're an eagle-eyed viewer, I guess, and you know the rotation of what characters will be here, Sal should have been the new one, but I opened the game earlier to put my Dean save up here, because I will be starting Tyson's route, just because I want to. I'll start putting, you'll probably already seen it, but I'll put like what route I'm doing for the episode in the title. So if you wanted, when all of this is up eventually, you can like do those separately if you want. Like, I'll just look for the Dean videos, I guess, if you wanted that whole thing. But I don't know, kind of want to shop around, you know? Don't want to commit because I'm a bad person. I don't want to hang out with Tyson. So I'm sabotaging the consistency of this playthrough for that, I guess. I don't know. It's not like anyone's gonna actually watch this anyway. A notable distance away from everyone else was Tyson, and I felt a little bad. He didn't get on with anyone else here, from what I could tell. And oh, I forgot my thing. There, that makes that a whole lot more comfortable. From what I could tell, and they didn't get on well with him either. Still, he watched as I approached, his expression softening as I got closer, and eventually smiling by the time I reached the chair next to him. Coming to sit next to me, huh? I nodded, trying to play it off as no big deal. Figured I'd keep you company. You were all by yourself after all. Yeah, I like my space. You, on the other hand. He grabbed me roughly in a headlock by throwing an arm over my shoulder and grinding a knuckle into my head, making me wince. Wine? Wine, yeah. And you can't get enough of me, huh? He let me go, chuckling to himself as I gave him a disapproving stare. I could leave, you know. Just watch. Plenty of other places to sit. He stared at me, deadpan. We'll go on then. Now I was torn between if I should stay or if I should go on. The moment I shifted, though, his hand found my shoulder and firmly held me down in my seat. Too slow. You're stuck here now. With one hand on my shoulder, he skewered some meat with his fork and shoved it into his mouth. When he was sure I wasn't going anywhere, he removed his hand. You doing all right? Yeah. Why? Are you? I'm fine. Still wondering why you invited me to this, though. Oh, you're my friend, too, Ty. I asked if I could invite someone, so yeah. And you picked me? To come to your end of school thing? What's wrong with that? Got kicked out, remember? This isn't a celebration for me so much as just something to do. But are you liking it at least? Sure, place is great. At least the gym is. Fuck knows what else I'll be doing around here. Making friends, maybe. Yeah, good luck with that, pup. The rest of the meal we ate in silence, occasionally me looking across to what Ty had helped himself to, and finding that it was just meat and nothing else. Reasonable, though. Compared to what I had, I felt that maybe I should have offered some vegetables, but he seemed content enough with what he picked. Ty? What? He wiped his mouth on the back of his arm, pushing his plate forward. Reckon there'll be dessert? Why, still hungry? Maybe a little. Besides, something sweet sounds nice. Something sweet, huh? What do you want? What do you mean, what do I want? What do you want? Fuck off, I asked first. Just tell me and I'll go steal it or find it from somewhere. 1, stealing is bad. 2, unless it's already in the kitchen, I don't think you're going to find it anywhere nearby to steal it from anywhere. Got me there. I don't know what I want, so that makes things harder. Damn, at least I'm not in the same boat. You do want something sweet? Free food is free food. I'll take what I can get. I nodded slowly, wondering what I was going to get. It wasn't long before the kitchen door swung open, with the butler emerging with a small tray of what appeared to be desserts. Dessert is served, gentlemen. However, this particular spread was mostly Orlando's contribution to the meal, having tried to make something each particular like to ease into your stay here. I look across to Orlando. He went bright red and flashed us all with a bright smile. The butler wheeled the tray around the table, placing a dessert in front of each of us, ending with me. Oh, thank you. What is it, Master Dave? I don't think I got your name. Oh, I'm no one of importance. Pay it no mind. Is it Jeeves? Pardon? Is it Alfred? The butler eyed me, and like, this is where he says it's Benson, right? Yeah, you called me Benson. It is a pleasure to meet you all. He bowed slightly and gently placed the dessert intended for me on the table. If that will be all, gentlemen, I hope you enjoy your dessert and enjoy the rest of your evening. Feel free to leave your plate where they are, and I will collect them later. I looked at the dessert placed in front of me and cooed softly. What the hell is this? I looked up from what I had and what was set in front of Tyson. Looks like chocolate cake. Ugh. What's wrong with chocolate? And what happened to you saying taking what you can get? Then give me yours. Wait, why? Smells like coffee. Yeah, and I like coffee. You have chocolate cake. I have tiramisu. Trade me. No. Trade me. No. Dave. What if we share? I don't get what the big deal is. You like chocolate. Ty sighed, shrugging. You like chocolate too, dumbass. Oh. So share? Alright, share. Without asking, Ty roughly cuts his slice of the cake in half and puts the bigger half on my plate immediately after he scoops barely half of what I had on his own. Hey, this isn't... What? Just enjoy your desserts, you brat. I flashed Ty a smile and started with the cake, while he went for the tiramisu. It was a great chocolate cake, rich, slightly bitter, without losing any of the natural sweetness you'd find in chocolate. If Orlando had made this for Tyson, he had just gone with the safe option. Yeah, I had it before. It was Orlando's go-to whenever it was someone's birthday. I bumped Ty's arm, giving him a quick smile, and he flashes me one back, seemingly in a better mood. When I finished my cake, I looked to the tiramisu. Tyson seemed to like it, so I wondered how I enjoyed it. Taking a spoonful, I gave it a try. For me, my tiramisu was creamy and chocolatey, but with those familiar coffee tones that hits the nose whenever I move my spoon through the cream. The scent of coffee always made me nostalgic, maybe because of how often I smelled it when I was around the family home. It was a safe place, or at least felt associated with safety. Before I knew it, I'd finish, sighing out of content in a sleepy, despite there being coffee involved. With everyone well fed, we filed out into the foyer, ready to turn for the night. Well, I'm beat. Time to turn in. Haven't eaten that well in a long time. It was good. Very good. Better than what I'd been eating. Really? That was restaurant quality, wasn't it? I'd say better. The perfect mix of restaurant quality and homely charm. I could feel Orlando tense up next to me. He took pride in his cooking, so I wasn't sure if he was taking this as a challenge or an overall comment on his capacity as a cook. So, everyone turning in? I think so. I'm with Dean on this one. Dean shuffles up to me and puts an arm around my shoulder, flashing me a particular brand of grin. You're with me, are you? Knowing where I'm going? Back off, Bear. I blinked, having heard that tone before. It was angry, possessive, and while rarely directed at me, it didn't normally mean anything good. It must have caught Dean off guard as he pulled his arm back and stepped away soon after. I heard Sal and say something to Dean, arms folded around his chest, while Dean looked sheepish, yet apologetic. But as for Orlando, he stepped forward to confront Tyson. You should mind your tone, Wolf. What? You looking to pick a fight over how I talk? If that was a talk, I'd hate to have a civil conversation with you. The two stared snarling at one another, and I looked between them, not sure of how to defuse the situation. As Ty took a step towards Orlando, Sal stepped over from his talk with Dean and grabbed Ty by the shoulder, by the arm, under the arms, lifting him off the ground so he couldn't do anything more. Haas pulled Orlando aside to keep him properly separated. This might be the bad time, but I wanted to pitch to everyone. Somehow it was enough to defuse the situation that Roswell seemed to have room to speak freely. So, we're here for a month. I figure why not make a game of it while we're here? What sort of game? Well, Haas and I found a gaming room and on the same floor as the bedrooms, so I was thinking something that DVDs or video games couldn't quite offer. Something we could do as a group or in teams. Oh, but what do you have in mind? I haven't gotten that far. There were grumbles from the others before I'd asked if he had any ideas, and the fire reignited in Roswell's eyes. Yeah, something I'll need to ask Benson first. But it'll have the potential to be a lot of fun. I like fun. Besides, playing only video games for a month seems, I don't know, like a waste of a mansion? I agree. Not bad to have other options, I suppose. Outside of finding a fishing spot, I don't have any ideas. Sounds good to me. If you need help, just give me a heads up. Same here. But, for now I'm going to bed. Makes two of us. Night, everyone. Dean and Haas wandered up to the stairs and out of sight. Night, Dave. Yeah, sleep well. See you at breakfast. Then Roswell and Orlando followed suit. Ty shrugged off Sal, grumbling. He was let go and kicked the ground, annoyed. Tyson didn't really say much else, shooting Sal an unimpressed look before heading upstairs. As for Sal, he nodded once and gave me a wave before heading upstairs like all the others before him. I stood there, taking another look at the grand entry, the furnishings that lead to the stairs leading up to the first floor. It was royalty. If I were royalty, I'd feel the part in this castle easily. But still, something wasn't quite right. Something foreboding seemed to be lingering just beyond view. Something that was making me feel uneasy in the pit of my stomach. I felt a hair on the back of my neck stand up on end, and I spurred to see if anyone else was there. If I hadn't watched Ty go upstairs on his own, I'd have assumed it was he playing another trick on me. Still, I was alone as far as I could tell. No one's there, right? Silence. Mr. Benson? More silence. Maybe it was just tiredness. After all, there wasn't anything sinister here, right? We could trust Roswell's capacity to not invite us to a murder mansion, right? Nothing could have beat the sight of my bed by the time I get up to my room. As soon as I lay down and my head hits the pillow, I was out like a light. I must have forgotten to set an alarm, for when I woke up I had no idea what time it was. Still, I was thankful that my room had an adjoined bathroom, a comfort that I was somewhat familiar with, given what my bedroom was like at home. My muscles felt sore, maybe just from being in an unfamiliar bed, but given I had my own shower, what better time to test it out? I didn't have one before bed, and there's something to be said about bathing regularly. Once I was under the water, I realized how gross I felt. Maybe it was just from sitting in the bus for hours, then wandering around an old house. Thankfully, I wasn't sharing a bed with anyone. But if that was going to happen, I guess the incentive to have a shower beforehand would have been there. Once I was dressed and headed downstairs to breakfast, assuming everyone else was there, sure enough, I was the last to arrive. Much like dinner, there were trays out and typical breakfast, a hotel breakfast style, yeah. Good morning. Morning, Roswell. I sat down with my breakfast, looking at what seemed to be distracting him. The first thing I noticed was his notepad. Okay, so it's this. I'm wondering if I should just skip to the next, choice. Yeah. I assume all of this is going to be, the same, right? I found myself heading to the basement even after I walked down to... yeah, so it's just this scene. That makes sense. Watching other guys, huh? Yeah. Yeah, that you need to take a fucking shower, Tyson. Fucking hell. So, yeah, I don't need to really do all that. Something about the room seemed weird. And, can I use a password from, like, does typing death cap here do anything? Okay. Interesting, interesting. For standing there in the dinner area. Hey, Dave. You look like a wreck, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's the vault. I know, yeah. Yeah, so the foreboding. Oh. I had in my head whatever I was feeling. I was sure in this house. Despite reinforcing this in my head, I heard a knock at my door. I froze, standing at the door. Come in. Okay, so you always meet Dean in this scene? Okay. You were out of it dinner. What's wrong? Nothing, nothing. Curious. Interesting, interesting. I didn't sleep well, and I was up early, my body telling me I hadn't rested enough. Not that I felt rested, my head was still spinning. I already don't even remember the events of day 3. Feels bad. Oh, okay. Yeah, so... Tyson? I knew Tyson would be grumpy if I bothered him this early in the morning, but he was level-headed about stuff like this. I had faith that despite him chewing me out for interrupting his sleep, he'd put me at ease. Throwing caution to the wind, I sent him a message. Minutes ticked by, and right as I considered messaging Dean instead, Tyson replied. It was curt, but at least it wasn't, he wasn't brushing me off the moment after messaging came through, immediately after saying I could stop by. I assumed that meant that he wasn't going to be getting out of bed, so I got dressed enough that I could make my way walking down the hall. The light was off, and as I eased to open the door, slipping inside, I carefully closed it behind me. Ty? I kept my voice low, but I could see his eyes watching me from the bed. What little light in the room was showing he was still clearly in bed on his side. Come here. Sure. Wandering closer, I sat on the bed, playing with my fingers and not really sure where to start. So, better be a good reason why you woke me up, pup. He yawned, scratching and adjusting himself as he sat there. I noticed that the fly of his pants was undone, a sign that he was only just throwing them on. Occasionally, Ty did sleep in the buff. In the buff? I assume that just means he slept naked, but I've never read that phrasing before. If you wanted some eye candy, it could have. If you wanted some eye candy, it could have waited until I was awake. I looked up, noticing Ty watching me, and I gulped, laughing nervously. Sorry, your fly is undone. What? Get a good enough look? To be fair, it was dark enough in the room that I couldn't see anything, but with how he was sitting, even if all the lights were on, I doubt I would have seen anything of worth anyway. You wanted to talk, so hurry up already. Right, so... You look like you haven't slept. I slept a little. You okay? Just this house, it's creeping me out. Just the house, though. But where is everyone? We're it. Who else could we get a fucking mansion for a month for free? How else could we get you? I mean, I paid nothing, unless you guys paid for it all because before I was invited. You ain't gonna ask me for money now, are you? Of course not. I wouldn't do that. He grunted in response, leaning back and doing up his fly so he could freely lay back. You reckon the weirdo would put this together and then just screw you over? Hey, be nice. Still a weirdo, believing in all ghost stuffs. Heard enough of it from the other end of the bus. You don't believe in it even a little? Poof. Why would I? You've never just once thought that maybe? Nope. Way I see it, there's enough things that can hurt you in the flesh that there's no point in worrying about it. Even if they did, chances are they'd be dead long before any of that mattered. Demons exist, sure, but not in the way that Boars wants you to think. Oh. There was an awkward silence held between us for a moment, for almost a full minute before Ty spoke again. Look, would it make you feel better if I said I'll keep you safe? I can't punch ghosts, but I can have your back, all right? Just like normal. Yeah, that helps. Thanks. Just don't go being paranoid though. I won't. Promise. You fucking better. Now, I'm gonna get some sleep. Unless you plan on sleeping on the floor, better get back to your room. Ty walked me to the door, opening it for me. He leaned on the door frame as I passed through it, reaching out to grab me by the shoulder to get one last thing. Next time, try not to make it so early. Otherwise, come talk anytime. He closed the door before I could get a word in, but I felt somewhat better. I had half a mind to knock and thank him properly, but also figured that I could always thank him later. With that, I wandered back to my room until it was time to head down for breakfast. Much like the first night, I was the last one to arrive to breakfast, and once again, I had a free call of who to sit next to. I sit next to Ty. After talking to Ty this morning, I figured I may as well spend breakfast with him too. Morning. Feeling better? I am, yeah. Hungry, though. You get some sleep after I left? Eventually. Took care of myself first, though. What, like groomed? Yeah, sure. That's what most guys do in the morning before getting up. Come on, think about it for a second. Oh. One advantage of sleeping with no clothes. Still, wake me up that early again, and you might become part of the morning routine if you aren't careful. I'll, keep that in mind. Tyson started to grab food from in front of him, stocking up his plate when tucking in. With how fast he was eating, I could have sworn I was sitting next to Dean. Oh, hungry much? Hey, free grub. Good free grub. Well, yeah, but aren't you gonna get sick eating that fast? Nah, I know my limit. You should get some food in though. Was gonna take a look around. Figured you might want to come. Sure. Don't have any other plans for today. Great. Ty's sudden outburst caused everyone to look this way. Not that it seemed to really bother him that much. Maybe he was just lonely. Riding the enthusiasm, Ty got up and left. Figured that it was already on his way to check out the place. I should probably follow. So, you've been looking around this place, huh? Could say that. Anywhere you recommend to kick us off? To kick off, whatever. Actually, before that, need to head back to the room. Without waiting, Ty started to jog up the stairs. Alright. Now that you're here, not going to mince words, Dave. Ty began to pace before sighing, giving me a hard stare before continuing. I came because you invited me, but I think you made a mistake given who else is here. I'm thankful, don't get me wrong, but I think that as a whole, you should have picked someone else. Well, I get what you're saying. Not as Not as if you can head home now, right? I could call a cab or something. Yeah, but that would be stupid expensive. Besides, why not just make the most of it? Could just spend the month training or wandering the woods. Yeah, right. Like that'd go down well. Something tells me spending the whole month in a dark basement is a little sus. So what's the alternative? Well, I ain't apologizing. Well, ideal scenario then. I don't get on well with them. We're different people, and that's okay. Besides, you keep me company, so it's not so bad. I'm fine with that. Well, if you're sure. Still, what are you planning on doing today? Gym? All day? No, I still want to have a look around. Which, room should we start with? Well, you've got the basement covered. Anything good upstairs? Maybe. I think I heard someone talking about, games upstairs, right? We could have a good look. Worst case scenario, we can come back here. I'll probably go and check out the gym after, either way. Want to work off breakfast at some point. Alright, sure. The two of us left the bedroom, Tyson leading the way and sticking his head into any door he could find until we found the game room. Well, well. Ty went over to one of the slot machines, resting against the wall, and gave the lever a whack. More like a casino than I thought it'd be. Why'd they have a setup like this anyway? Like, what's the point in a slot machine if you own it? Any money you put in, you'll get right back. What if you had friends over? Still, then you'd just be stooging money off your friends. What if it pays out too? You just give money away? You're just gonna give money away like that for free? Well, I guess if you're rich enough to have a place like this, maybe money isn't that big of a deal. Must be nice. Still, what else is in here? Looks like they have a projector set up. There is? Yeah, have a setup back at my place. Cheaper than getting a TV. And didn't think you didn't know how to set that. Didn't think you'd know how to set up one of those. Besides, don't think the people here would be too much about worried about crash, right? Tell me if you ever come over. Can make it the thing bigger than any TV on market. Quality holds up pretty well too. Feels just like the movies. Let me see if there's a remote bound to be one of those somewhere. We split up, start searching the room. Didn't take long before Ty was calling out for from one cabinet in particular. Found it. Come over here. Find something? Yeah, looks like a control panel. Come on, flip the switch there. Let's see if this works. I flipped the switch, and immediately a section of the wall slid aside to reveal a large screen. Oh hey, this sort of looks like a TV. Not quite. That's just something for the image to project onto. You've just dressed it up. They've just dressed it up a bit. Tyson points at the ceiling where a small box seems to be pointing at the wall that just opened up. That should be the projector. Must have come down when the wall opened. Don't remember seeing it up there a minute ago. There's a couple other switches here. Should I press them? Don't see why not. Besides, if we break anything, they should have made it less fragile, right? Well, I don't really want to have to explain why something's broken when we've only been here a couple days. Well, move over then. I'll do it. Without waiting for me to move, Ty shoves past and starts flicking switches. First the screen came on, and then a few of the shelves, and following that, the screen had a list of games pre-installed and ready to play. Not bad. Oh yeah? Check out how many games they've got. This is probably a custom rig of some kind. Don't think mine at home could hold this many. You have one of these? Well, one of them. Seems like they have one of everything and have them all running at the same time. Well, shit. Wonder how they're doing that. Gonna try to do it at home? If I get another console, sure. Sure they won't mind if I help myself. What, you're gonna take one of these home? Yep. Not going to miss one. But They're not gonna miss one lousy console. But that's stealing. Then don't fucking tell anyone. But look, if you don't want a guilty conscience, don't watch me steal it. Hell, I won't steal it if I won't even steal it right now. Jeez, you're such a buzzkill. Well, you've ruined the mood now. Let's go somewhere else. Oh, okay. Tyson stomped out of the room without another word. Still, despite me being the reason he was so being sour, he ushered me to the follow. We passed Roswell in the foyer, who seemed to be just standing around, almost waiting. Ty just stomped on past towards the dining room, paying Roswell no mind. Oh, that was close. He didn't look happy at all. Yeah, that was my fault. We were upstairs in the game room, and... It doesn't matter. Still, game room is pretty cool. Should check it out if you get the chance. Oh, then I should, maybe. Maybe after lunch? Oh, yeah, we're getting close to then, aren't we? Yep. I was going to go ahead before, well, don't worry, I get it. Oh, well, that's a relief. Don't know what I'll do, though. Standing out here until the others arrive seems kind of weird, don't you think? Well, if it were me, I'd just go into the dining room anyway. Oh, yeah? Well, I mean, Ty's just Ty. I get that he's kind of looks like he'll pick a fight with whoever, but he's an alright guy. Especially now? Trust me. Well, if you say so. You're coming too, I guess. In a bit. Gotta go get something from my room first. Alright, well, I'll see you when you get back then. I wandered upstairs, heading to my room. Seemed as though everyone else was out, though. No one seemed to be in their rooms otherwise. When I go to my room, I noticed that things seemed different. Nothing major, just... Had someone been in here? I changed my shirt and went back downstairs. Seemed as though nothing was missing. So I assume this is when Benson installed the microphones and speakers? Probably? Something, I don't know. By the time I was back downstairs, though, everyone seemed to be hurrying to the dining room. When we all arrived, though... Really, anyone could have heard the yelling as they approached, but entering made it all the worse. Seemed as though everyone heard it, and everyone filed in close behind. Who are you calling a dog, pig? That's... Roswell and Tyson were on opposite sides of the table, Tyson snarling and hunched over one of the chairs, looking like he'd jump over it. What's going on? That porker called me a dog. I didn't, I swear. Roswell made a break for it. Hiding behind Sal, Tyson was right behind him, stopping shy of Sal and snarling up as a at the massive crocodile in his way. What happened? Sal looked back at Roswell, opting to address him rather than the wolf in front of him, making Ty back off in a huff. No one's hurt, right? You didn't, you know... Ty looked over and he was about to explode, eyes bulging at the corner of his mouth turned downward. By comparison, Roswell was meekly clinging to the back of Sal's shirt, using him as a physical barrier. I needed answers, and I didn't like the idea of the two of them fighting. Maybe it was just a simple misunderstanding. I looked at both Roswell and Tyson, clearing my throat. We'll ask Tyson. Tyson, what happened? Asking Ty must have calmed him, as I'd rather... Yeah, okay, so just this whole... mess. This is what you're fighting about? Really? Yeah, guys, there's plenty of other reasons you could be fighting. And... Okay. And there was every chance that... No, I'm gonna chase after Tyson. I stole another look at the rest of the group before shaking my head. Even if everyone else thought he was overreacting, he was still upset, and he was my friend. The others could take care of Roswell, so he was in good hands. Tyson, however, the only reason I knew because I spotted his tail. Yeah, okay. It was dark, but you alright? Do I sound alright to you? He spat the words out, making me flinch. I took a step back, and he seemed to realize what he did a moment later. Look, I'm sorry. It's not your fault. It means a lot that you followed me, though. But Ty, was that really your way to react? Yeah, I think I read this conversation already. We were just talking about you, actually. About me? Yeah. Doesn't matter about what. He just made a comment about your tail when you were mentioned. Your tail? Yeah, my tail. I can't stop it wagging sometimes. Anyway, took a dig at me and called me a happy puppy. Then started claiming that Canis or whatever thing. I don't want to take sides, but... And then you make an excuse for your actual friend? Figures. No, just... I want everyone to get along. It's hard. Ty sighed, rolling his eyes before looking me over. He said nothing at first, but when he did, his tone was level and calm. Okay, fine. I'll do it for you. But I'm not going to stand for any of the dog nonsense, you hear me? I'll tell Roswell to be more careful and how he jokes around. Promise. So, come on. So come for lunch, please? Nah, I'm not hungry anymore. Gonna work out for a bit and then maybe have a nap. He rustled the top of the fur on top of my head, shooting me a smile. I'll be fine, pup. I'll see you at dinner. I watched the... Yeah, okay. With the argument behind us, we would settle down at the table. Orlando prepared lunch. Orlando brought out a big tray with what seemed to be an assortment of sandwiches that you could imagine. They were only small pieces, almost like finger food. You made all of these, Orlando? Looks good. Feels bad that you went through all of the trouble, given we had a butler. I really don't mind making sandwiches for all of my friends. I thought that was the... Yeah, okay. And then he gets slapped by Sal. It's... Oh, well, I did end up speaking about the activity. I assume this is the explanation for the scavenger hunt. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Yep. We finished up lunch, spread out. I figured I'd take a nap. I collapsed in my bed trying to get comfortable, but my mind wanders. I was curious about the door downstairs and what was behind it, and if it was worth finding a bunch of medals for. Setting up, I pulled out my journal and wrote down something. Despite only having a couple days here, I had a lot on my mind. But despite me writing down everything, that was immediately the temptation to go downstairs, visit the vault. I don't know. Ah, my mouse. I mean, I guess I just have to type in anything to, like... yeah. Once I'd settled in my room, I must have fallen asleep at some point. The bed was comfier than I'd given it credit for. The only reason I woke up was because I heard a knock at my door. Is it... who could it be? Yeah, okay. Dave, what's up? Was asleep. Not that I am... what is it, snack time? Just checking in. Want some jelly beans. Friends, I guess it's a different one. Oh my god. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I remember this conversation. I guess you could say Dean or Haas may not get along as much. Dinner, yeah. A scavenger hunt, huh? Given what happened at lunch, Tyson was sitting by himself at the end of the table while everyone was huddled. It was... tell you what, I'm not big on things. So sleep. Well, teams are being decided tomorrow. All right. We'll see if it goes in the morning. Thanks for filling me in. Okay, I do remember. The rest of the meal was uneventful. Blah, blah. Man, I'm beat. Check my phone, and it was still relatively early. I consider messaging one of the guys or... I decide against it for now. I showered, jumped into bed, and fell asleep very quickly. Okay. Well, we made it all the way back to, made it all the way back to day 4, at the very least. Oh, this is colored now. Oh. Okay, so I guess they're color code. Because Dean is gray. Okay, maybe. But, yeah, okay. Maybe that's day 5. Yeah, because that... Okay, okay. Well, that'll be it for this part. I think I'll continue doing Tyson's for a bit and see if I get, I don't know, bored or something. And then go back to Dean's at some point. Is what it is. I am fickle. I'm not sorry. See you around.